Very good morning, children. I am Deepa, your physical science teacher from Dr. Besant School. Hope all are fine and you all are ready to write your exam, isn't it? FA1 exam. I hope you all prepared well. But how much you have prepared, still revision is required, isn't it? If you are in the school, physically we would have done a lot of revision. I used to ask the questions and conduct a small slip test, everything to test yourself, to test you, and you also will get confidence on yourself. As it is not possible now, let us do the revision virtually. Okay, children? So, for this revision, as I can't interact with you directly, what I will do is, I will explain the chapter. How I will explain the chapter? Summary, like a summary. Okay, briefly, all the main topics, just I will go through the topics, I will explain that to you again. Just we will revise, not explain, just we will revise all the main topics, just briefly. Okay, but when I start that, you should be ready with your books. Mainly textbook. Okay, textbook, workbook, everything you keep with you, so that you can go through that when I am explaining. And once this video you completed watching, then read the entire textbook as well as workbook, question answers, everything, so that you can answer your exam very, very well. Okay, don't take it easily that it is objective, simply we can write. But as I told, it may be objective, but application type will be there. Only if you understood the concept, easily you can answer them. Okay, children? So, shall we start? Now, your syllabus is second, third and fourth chapters. Okay, 3 chapters I am giving. What is our second chapter? Acids, bases and salts. Now, going through our chapter, acids, bases and salts. So, first, chemical properties of acids and bases. Activity we have discussed, right? That collecting some acids and collecting some bases and testing them with red litmus, blue litmus, phenolphthalein solution and methyl orange solution. Okay, so the table, if you are thorough with this table, this activity you will get. Very easily you can answer the questions if you are thorough with this table 1. So in this table, first HCl sample, it turns blue litmus to red and phenolphthalein solution will become colorless and methyl orange solution will become red. Isn't it? This will be the same for HCl, H2SO4, HNO3 and CH3COOH. HCl means hydrochloric acid, H2SO4 sulfuric acid, HNO3 nitric acid, CH3COOH is acetic acid. As all the 4 are acids, these acids will turn blue litmus into red, whereas red litmus will remain like that. And if we add phenolphthalein solution to these acids, it will become colorless and methyl orange solution will become red. This already even we have done in our lab, if you remember, right? And remaining samples, NaOH means sodium hydroxide, KOH potassium hydroxide, MgOH twice, magnesium hydroxide, NH4OH ammonium hydroxide and CaOH twice, calcium hydroxide. All these 5, all are having hydroxides. What are they? They all are bases. This bases will turn red litmus into blue color, whereas blue litmus paper will remain the same. And phenolphthalein solution is added to this any of the base, it turns into pink color. And methyl orange solution will turns into yellow color. So you should remember this, very important as a bit for you. Okay, acids turn phenolphthalein solution in acid is dash, colorless. Methyl orange in acid turns into red color. Okay, phenolphthalein solution in base, it is pink, gives pink color. Methyl orange in base gives yellow color. Okay, this is very important. This is our first activity. And now the most important question which you all know very well. What is olfactory indicators? Tell. Yes. What is olfactory indicators? The substance used to test whose odor changes in acidic or basic media. The substance whose odor changes, odor means smell, changes in acidic and basic media, those are called olfactory indicators. Next activity. To test about this olfactory indicators, what all we will take? You remember the activity very well, isn't it? Onions, finely chopped onions placed in a plastic cover. Tightly, you pack it and keep them in the fridge for overnight. Okay. Next, you will take them out and, yes, I forgot. In this finely chopped onions, you place two cloth strips, clean cloth strips you will place and tie it tightly and overnight you keep in the fridge. Next day, you take that cloth strips and check the odor. Now keep these two strips on a clean surface and keep few drops of HCl on one strip and NaOH on another strip and check the odor. Will the odor remain same for the two strips? No, the odor will change. So according to that odor we can tell whether it is an acid or base. In the same way, clove oil and vanilla essence. These are also used as olfactory indicators. Next, the most important one, reaction of acids and bases with metals. Acid or base will react with metal and liberate dash gas. Can you tell? Very good. Acid or base will react with metals and liberate hydrogen gas. To understand that, this activity with the diagram, which this diagram is very important. You all know this diagram, I made you to practice also. So if you see according to the diagram, we will take some zinc granules in a test tube and pour some HCl acid until the zinc granules get immersed in that HCl and close the test tube with a one-hole rubber cork and one end of the delivery tube place in that one hole of the rubber cork and another end of the delivery tube is placed in a trough containing soap water. Now what will happen? After some time you will observe the bubbles, gas bubbles coming in the soap water. To test what gas is that, what you will do? You will place a burning matchstick. What will happen to that burning matchstick? Yes, it will put off with a pop sound. So from this what you understood? Acid or base will react with metal and form salt plus hydrogen. Acid plus metal gives rise to salt plus hydrogen, H2 gas. Example, what you have taken here, HCl plus Zn, zinc granules, gives rise to ZnCl2 plus H2 gas. Just you recall in 9th class we have done balancing the equations. Is this equation balanced? Recall children? No. Here hydrogen 1 and here hydrogen 2. Here chlorine 1 and here chlorine 2. So how you will balance? 2. 2 HCl plus Zn gives rise to ZnCl2 plus H2. This is our activity, important activity. In the same way, bases also will react with the metals and form salt plus hydrogen. That is what our third activity. In that example, base what you have taken is sodium hydroxide. React with same zinc granules. In place of HCl acid, we will pour sodium hydroxide. Then it forms sodium zincate. Sodium zincate. Na2 ZnO2. Sodium zincate and liberate hydrogen gas. So acids or bases will react with metals, then they will liberate hydrogen gas along with that metallic salt. Next, activity 4. What is activity 4? Reaction of acids with carbonates and metal hydrogen carbonates. Remember this activity, another important one. We will take 2 test tubes, label them as A and B, take about 0.5 grams of sodium carbonate in test tube A and about 0.5 grams of sodium hydrogen carbonate in test tube B. Now add about 2 ml of dilute HCl to both the test tubes. What do you observe? Now pass the gas produced in each case through lime water. What will happen? Just recall, children. Sodium carbonate in test tube A and sodium hydrogen carbonate in test tube B, and add 2 ml of dilute HCl to both of them. Then what will happen? It releases a gas. Here sodium carbonate and dilute HCl is added, closed with 2-hole rubber cork. In one hole you will keep the Tyrrell funnel, and another hole you will place one end of the delivery tube. Other end of the delivery tube is passed into a test tube consisting of calcium hydroxide, lime water. Then what will happen? The gas is evolved by the reaction of HCl and sodium carbonate Na2CO3. What is the test? Gas. We can know by seeing the test tube, which makes the lime water to turn into milky white precipitate. In the lime water, milky white precipitate is formed. So what is the gas? Yes, that gas is carbon dioxide. So here Na2CO3, sodium carbonate, reacting with 2HCl, hydrochloric acid. Then it forms NaCl, sodium chloride, plus H2O water plus CO2, carbon dioxide gas. The same way, another test tube what you have taken, sodium hydrogen carbonate or sodium bicarbonate, NaHCO3 reacting with HCl, hydrochloric acid, forms sodium chloride, same, plus water, plus releases carbon dioxide gas. And this carbon dioxide gas is made to pass through, this is made to pass into the CaOH twice. What is that CaOH twice? I told you, lime water. Then a milky white precipitate is formed. What is that? Calcium carbonate, which is a precipitate, plus H2O. And this calcium carbonate reacts with water and carbon dioxide again. Then it forms calcium bicarbonate or calcium hydrogen carbonate, CaHCO3 twice. Okay, so from this activity what we understood? Metal carbonate and metal hydrogen carbonate. Any metal carbonate and metal hydrogen carbonate will react with any of the acid. Then it forms salt plus carbon dioxide plus water. This is the general equation. Metal carbonate and metal hydrogen carbonate react with any acid. Okay. Metal carbonate or metal hydrogen carbonate react with any acid. It forms salt plus carbon dioxide gas plus water. This is our next activity. Am I clear, children? Next one is neutralization reaction. What is meant by neutralization? Reaction of acid and base to form salt and water is called neutralization. Reaction of acid and base with each other to form salt and water. The generalized equation of neutralization is acid plus base react with each other and form salt. It forms salt plus water. Okay. Example, NaOH plus HCl. HCl which is acid plus NaOH which is base forms NaCl which is sodium chloride, a salt, plus water H2O. This reaction between acid and base to form salt and water is called neutralization reaction. Next, reaction of acids with metal oxides. Metal oxides. All the metallic oxides are dash in nature. As metallic oxides are basic in nature. So reaction of acids with metal oxides is nothing but acids reacting indirectly with base. So it will also form salt. Okay, salt and water, it is also same like neutralization. For that example is given, taking small amount of copper oxide, which copper is a metal, copper oxide in a beaker, and slowly adding dilute HCl acid. So metal oxide plus acid gives rise to salt plus water. Okay, in the same way, reaction of base with non-metal oxide. All the non-metallic oxides are dash in nature. Yes, non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. So bases reacting with non-metallic oxides is nothing but bases reacting indirectly with acids, which also forms salt and water, because non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. Example, best example is calcium hydroxide, which is a base, reacts with carbon dioxide to produce salt and water, which carbon dioxide is a non-metallic oxide. Okay children, now what do acids have in common? What do all the acids have in common? This activity 7, very important diagram and activity I told. Yes, can you tell what all the acids have in common? All the acids have common H plus ions, isn't it? That is what this activity showing the acid solution in water conducts electricity. So in this activity, what you should take? See the diagram. So we will connect prepared solutions of glucose, alcohol, HCl and H2SO4 etc. Connect two different colored electrical wires to graphite rod separately in a 100 ml beaker. Connect free ends of the wire to 230 volts AC plug and complete the circuit. Now pour some dilute HCl in the beaker and switch on the current. Will the bulb glow or not? Yes, the bulb will glow. And the bulb glows, and repeat the same with glucose, alcohol solutions. In place of HCl, if we take glucose solution, will the bulb glow? No. If we take alcohol solution, will the bulb glow? No. Why? Why? Alcohol also consists of hydrogen, glucose also consists of hydrogen, HCl also consists of hydrogen, H2SO4 also consists of hydrogen, but the bulb will not glow in glucose and alcohol. Why children? Yes, in HCl, H2SO4, this will split into ions, HCl, H plus, Cl minus, H2SO4, H plus, SO4, 2 minus. Like that they'll split into ions. Whereas in glucose and what is that, alcohol, they will not split into ions. H will remain as H only. If they do not split into ions, then they cannot conduct electricity. The substances which will split into ions, they will only conduct electricity, and all the alcohols will have common H plus ions. Okay children, so we will observe the glowing of bulb because of having H plus ions. So all acids have H plus ions, whereas all the bases have what common? Correct, OH minus ions. All the bases have OH minus ions common. Clear? Do acids produce ions only in aqueous solution? Yes. To understand that, this activity is given. What you should do? 1.0 grams of solid NaCl you should take in a clean and dry test tube. Add some concentrated sulfuric acid to the test tube. So here what all you are adding? Equations are very important children. What you have taken in a clean and dry test tube? 1.0 grams of NaCl, sodium chloride common salt, and for this what you are adding? Sulfuric acid, H2SO4. Then it forms 2HCl. See here, what does this upward symbol represent? Arrow. Upward arrow represents as a gas. It is not hydrochloric acid. Upward arrow is there. So what is it? Hydrogen chloride gas. Okay, HCl is hydrochloric acid. Here upward arrow is there, means it is a gas. Hydrogen chloride gas. Plus it also forms Na2SO4, sodium sulfate. Now place a dry blue litmus paper where the gas is liberating at the mouth of the delivery tube. You place a dry blue litmus paper. You will not see any change in that paper. It remains blue only. Okay. Now what you will do is wet blue litmus paper. Now you take wet blue litmus paper and place at the mouth of the delivery tube. You will observe that wet blue litmus paper will convert into red color. Blue litmus paper did not convert into red color, it remains as blue only. Why? Because what is liberating is HCl gas, not acid. Okay, so this HCl cannot split into H plus and Cl minus when there is no water, which is aqueous solution. Aqueous solution means solvent is water. Whereas when you take wet blue litmus paper, this HCl gas reacted with H2O. Wet means consisting of water, reacted with that, and then it started splitting into ions. Then only it will have H plus ions. Am I clear, children? Right. So HCl plus H2O gives rise to another important one. HCl plus H2O gives rise to H3O plus Cl minus. What is meant by H3O plus? Hydronium ions. Hydronium. As I told you, H plus ions every acid will contain, but it will not remain as H plus. That H plus will immediately react with H2O water and form H3O plus, which is hydronium ions. Okay, so all the acids, what do they have common? All the acids have common hydronium ions, H3O plus. Whereas all the bases have common OH minus ions. See the examples given there. NaOH gives rise to Na plus OH minus. KOH gives rise to K plus OH minus. MgOH twice gives rise to Mg plus 2 plus 2OH minus. On dissolving bases in water produces OH minus hydroxide ions. Bases which are soluble in water are called dash. Very, very important. What is meant by alkali? Bases which are dissolved in water are called alkalis, which are soluble in water. All bases do not dissolve in water. BeOH twice is slightly soluble in water. BeOH twice means beryllium hydroxide. Beryllium hydroxide is slightly soluble in water. Next, what do you observe when water is mixed with acid or base? What will happen? Can we directly mix this water in acid or base? Take an acid bottle and pour water in that. What will happen? It will burst. We can't directly mix water into acid or base. Why should we mix? If no water content is there, then it is called concentrated acid. Concentrated is very powerful, or concentrated base. Okay, a small amount of acid or base is in water, then it is called dilute. Dilute acid or dilute base. This dilution will decrease the concentration of acid or base. Okay, the number of ions will be decreased. Then that is called dilution. Such acid or base is called dilute acid or dilute base. How should we do dilution? In water, You should pour acid or base drop by drop by stirring it. Then the blast will not take place. Understood? At one place only the heating releases a high temperature and it will blast if you pour water in acid, because it is a exothermic reaction. Exothermic means releasing of heat energy, isn't it? So as it is exothermic, carefully what you should do? You should pour acid or base drop by drop in water by stirring it. This process is called dilution. So mixing an acid or base with water result in decrease in the concentration of ions, either H3O plus ions or OH minus per unit volume. Such a process is called dilution and the acid or base is said to be diluted. Clear? Next, strength of acid or base. So what is meant by strong acid? What is meant by strong acid? Yes. The acid that have more number of H3O plus ions, hydronium ions is called strong acid. Example, HCl. HCl is a strong acid because it consists of more number of H3O plus ions. And weak acid, the acid which have less number of H3O plus ions, splitting of ions is less. Such an acid is called weak acid. Example, acetic acid, CH3COOH. In the same way, strong base, the substance that have more number of OH minus ions is called strong base. Example, NaOH, sodium hydroxide. And the substance that have less number of OH minus ions is called weak base. Okay, example, NH4OH, ammonium hydroxide. Now, next coming to pH scale. What is meant by pH scale? A scale for measuring hydrogen ion concentration. A scale for measuring hydrogen ion concentration in a solution is called pH scale. Means a solution consists of how much concentration of hydrogen ions, how many hydrogen ions are present in that solution. That measurement, for measuring that, the device used is called pH scale. Here P means potential, which is German word meaning is power. And pH value of solution is simply a number which indicates the acidic or basic nature of the solution. And pH of neutral solution is 7. This coming to pH values. If the pH value is less than 7, then that substance is acid. And in this acid, 0 to 3, I think. Okay. 0 to 2 are strong acids, isn't it? And 3 to less than 7 are weak acids. And exactly if the pH value is exactly 7, then it is neutral solution. It is neither acidic nor basic. And if this pH value is greater than 7, then it is base. And in this base, if the values are from 11 to 14, then they are strong bases. Above 7 to 10, they are weak base, and 11 to 14 are strong base. These values are important, children. And the colors also you can observe here given. 0, 1, 2 are red, which represents strong, and 3 is somewhat more strength. 4, 5, 6 comes weak acids. Colors will be changing to green. 7 is dark green, which is neutral. Exact green, which is neutral. And above 7, 8, 9, 10 becoming dark green, weak base. And 11, 12, 13, 14 dark, which is black, which is strong base. Next, importance of pH in everyday life. Very important one. One is plants and animals pH sensitive. Yes or no? Yes, acid rain. What is acid rain? The pH of rainwater is less than 5.6. Less than 5.6. pH of rainwater is less than 5.6, then it is called acid rain. And when acid rain flows into rivers, it lowers the pH of river water and survival of aquatic life in such rivers becomes difficult. And next, pH change cause of tooth decay. Teeth is made up of strong substance. What is that? Tooth enamel, which is made up of calcium phosphate, which is the hardest substance in the body, and pH of mouth is lower than 5.5, then tooth decay will occur. The tooth will not get dissolved in any liquid. Okay, it will not get dissolved, but it will not get soluble in any liquid, but it will get spoiled, it will get corroded when its pH value will become less than 5.5, because it is made up of hardest substance, that is calcium phosphate. Okay, so bacteria present in the mouth produces acids by degradation of food particles, sugar and food particles remaining in the mouth. Food particles will remain in the mouth, and the best way to prevent this is to clean the mouth after eating food. And also toothpaste you will use. Toothpaste is made up of base. So if any acid is remained in between the teeth, that base will react with that acid and neutralize the substance so that tooth decay will not take place. And next one is in our digestive system. We all know that in the stomach acid will be released, HCl. For what purpose? For the digestion of food. Okay, so if the much acid, more acid is produced, it causes pain and irritation in the stomach. To get rid of this, people use base called antacids. Antacids means against to the acid, which is a base, like mild base, which is magnesium hydroxide, milk of magnesia. Understood? Antacid we call it. And soil also requires a certain fixed amount of pH value for the healthy growth of plant. So before if we want to grow any plants, first we should test the pH value of the soil at that place. Okay, required amount is there, then the plant will grow healthy. If required amount is not there, more acid is there, we should use a fertilizer consisting of base to neutralize that excess acid. If that soil consists of more base, then we will use the fertilizer of acid like urea to neutralize that excess base. Then the plant will grow healthy. Okay, children, this is about pH values. And next, in the same way, self-defense by animals and plants through chemical warfare. Honeybee. If honeybee is stung, we will get a lot of pain or not? Why we are getting that pain? Because it injects an acid into that part of the body. So to get relief, we should apply milk of magnesia, which is a base. It neutralizes the acid and we will get relief from the pain. In the same way, salts. So salts are three types: acidic salt, basic salt, neutral salt. What is that acidic salt? If strong acid and weak base reacted with each other, how does salt form first of all? By neutralization process, reaction of acid and base with each other, isn't it? So if strong acid and weak base reacted, then the salt formed is strong salt, that is acidic salt. As the acid is strong, so the salt formed will have some acidic nature, so we call it as acidic salt. Clear, children? And if weak acid and strong base react with each other, then the salt formed is called basic salt. Okay, and if both strong acid and strong base react with each other, then the salt formed is neutral salt. These are the three types of salt. Now, chemicals from common salt. So many chemicals are prepared from common salt. We say common salt a raw material for chemicals. Sodium hydroxide from common salt. That is what this brine solution. Okay, what is brine solution? Another important one, what is called brine? When electricity is passed through an aqueous solution of sodium chloride, then it is called brine. Means the aqueous solution of sodium chloride is called brine, and when electricity is passed through this brine, it decomposes and forms sodium hydroxide. Decompose means splitting off. Okay, and in this process, many will form hydrogen, chlorine, and sodium hydroxide, which every substance is useful. What is its useful and all is given here, you can go through that. In the same way, bleaching powder, CaOCl2. Its formula is CaOCl2. So how is it prepared and the uses of bleaching powder is given there. In the same way, baking soda is formed, NaHCO3. So how is it formed and its uses are given here. Go through that, read that one. And the last one is washing soda, Na2CO3. That also how it is formed and uses of washing soda. All these uses are very important, children. You should read that one. And coming to the final one, water of crystallization, very important. What is meant by water of crystallization? The number of water molecules present in one formula unit of a salt is called water of crystallization. The number of water molecules present in one formula unit of a salt means if you take one formula unit of a salt, one molecule of a salt, how many number of water molecules are present in this one molecule of salt is called water of crystallization. Salt consists of water. So if you hold the salt in your hand for some time and if you leave that, your hand will become wet. Why? From where you got that water? From the salt. For that activity is given very important 4 marks question. You will take a few drops of, small amount of copper sulfate, CuSO4. What color is that? Blue color. In a dry test tube and start heating it. Okay, after some time you will observe that blue color will turns into white color and some drops of water is formed on the walls of the test tube. It converted into white color. Why it converted into white color? The water molecules got evaporated because of heating. As the water molecules came out, the blue color converted into white color. Now stop heating and add 1 drop of water for this white color copper sulfate crystals. Again it become blue color. Why it became blue color? Because water molecules are added for that copper sulfate. So it turned into blue color. This is the activity here. Am I clear, children? So copper sulfate CuSO4 5H2O. What is that 5? 5 water molecules are present in one molecule of copper sulfate. This is called water of crystallization. In the same way, sodium carbonate, Na2CO3, 10H2O. 10 water molecules are present in one molecule of sodium carbonate. Calcium sulfate, gypsum, CaSO4, 2H2O. 2 water molecules are present in one molecule of calcium sulfate, which we call it as. Then what is this CaSO4 of H2O? Very important. Every formula is important here. What is it? Yes, it is plaster of Paris. Plaster of, which is also called calcium sulfate hemihydrate. Hydrate is water and half is, hemi means half. So calcium sulfate hemihydrate is plaster of Paris. Okay, children? And here how this plaster of Paris is formed and uses of plaster of Paris is given here. Okay, which you already read and you read that. This is briefly our chapter acids, bases and salts. Thank you.